I've been brought here to talk about the Library Learning Commons model. I've been a classroom teacher for over 25 years, so I've had quite a bit of experience with libraries. I remember going to my elementary school library as a kid, where I have vivid memories of being read to by the librarian. I remember my mom taking me to the quiet public library where I'd be shushed if I made too much noise. Then it was off to university. Back then it was searching up journal articles and photocopying them. Oh, the amount of money I spent reloading those copy cards. Of course, some of you will have no idea what that means. Then sometime around 2010-ish, I started to hear the words Library Learning Commons, and I was like, what's that? I have seen some changes in my school's library, but once enrolled in my first teacher librarian course at Queen's, I got a quick education on the Learning Commons model. Honestly, I'm a little bummed that I've yet to have an assignment on the Dewey Decimal System, but I digress. Anyway, I often find myself thinking, how is the Learning Commons model program developed in elementary schools? I get it in universities. I would have way rather gotten together with other students to learn and share information than reload that copy card. But how does it work in elementary schools? When will all the group work, the maker activities, the inquiry, and collaboration take place in an elementary school where the library is predominantly occupied by students receiving instruction from the librarian? So when I was asked to find an aspect about the Library Learning Commons that I genuinely wish to learn more about, I quickly glommed on to engage students in discussion and planning. What do they need? What are their ideas for transforming the school library? So I came up with the question, how and to what extent can student feedback be used in the development of school library programming? I asked grade 3s, grade 5s, and grade 7s. What do you enjoy about the library? What would make the library more engaging? What kinds of books, tech, and furniture would you like to see in the library? If the library had extended hours, would you go? And if you were given time in the library, what would you really want to do in there? So did the students have feedback that could be used to develop the school library program? Kind of. A lot of their feedback was simply wanting more of the same, more books, more time in the library, and more comfy places to sit and read. The things they enjoyed most about the library were getting new books to read and reading in a quiet space. To make it more engaging, most just wanted the ability to sign out more books at a time. Although I did get a few that suggested snacks and a playground and a pet. The pet might be doable. They didn't hold back to wanting more books in the library. Sports and gaming, books about animals, anime, graphic novels, and comic books topped their lists. Most of the students thought that the technology was good in the library. Lots suggested more laptops to look up books, but not for doing research. Almost everyone suggested getting more comfy couches in the library. Sadly, only COVID knows when and will that will be attainable. I got an overwhelming yes to extending library hours, although I did get one no, it's wasting your playtime. And if you were given time in the library, what would you really want to do there? Overwhelmingly, it was just read. There were a few that wanted to research their interests, but most just wanted time to read. Oh, and one wanted to learn how to use the scanner that the librarian uses to sign out books. And finally, what would make you want to come to the library more often? Nothing. It's great the way it is. Just get more books. So to answer my question, to what extent can student feedback be used in the development of school library programming? For the students I surveyed, I think to a great extent. In From School Library to Library Learning Commons, a report put out by the BCTLA, there are several examples of how elementary school librarians have transformed their spaces to allow for comfy reading areas, more accessible shelving, and current collections that cater to student demand. The students I surveyed simply wanted more books. They didn't really come up with a lot of other activities for the library, like maker or collaborate with their friends on projects, use a green screen, or other tech equipment. This could be due to them already engaging in activities like this inside their classrooms, or that they can't really have feedback on what they don't know. If they don't know all the possibilities of a highly functioning LLC, then it's fair to say that they don't know what they're missing. As for the library being predominantly occupied by students receiving instruction from the librarian, and when and where would all of these other activities take place? Once again, in the BCTLA's report, Celia Borgen, an elementary school librarian, advocates that the ideal would be to have adjacent spaces in the school for students to move through a cycle of knowledge, exploration, and construction. In the library, it's information and literacy skills. Then students can move their learning to an adjacent makerspace to carry out the next stage of their process. A great idea, I think. So to sum up, I think students can have a say in the development of school library program. It has been my experience that they have good, rational, attainable ideas. And there are BC teacher librarians making this happen now. Although I'm still a little bummed that I haven't had one single lesson on the Dewey Decimal System yet. I'm encouraged that even Dewey himself said, if we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob children of tomorrow. I think I'm finally starting to buy into this whole LLC model. Are you?